Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today is 10th of August, now it's almost 9 o'clock in the morning Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my first update for a day in which I will share all the main news for last 12 hours that are making headlines in Russian media and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. Second update will be a little bit late in the afternoon, in which I will share additional news that will be reported by Russian media during the day. Also today I will make an update for Patreon page. And by the way, before I start talking about news, let me remind you, if I made, that our channel, our project is under heavy pressure when it comes to YouTube. And if you can, please, to make sure that we are staying in touch and you are receiving notifications about updates, please consider to join my Telegram page, which is free, by the way. It's a free subscription. You can see Telegram link for Telegram page in the description box or in the pinned comment. And please, if you want to support this project, click the like button and leave some commentary about just about anything, really. Any topic you like, because more likes and comments do help to deal with the extremely aggressive YouTube algorithm, aggressive towards independent channels, especially ones that are operating in this field of news and political commentary and are located in Russia, like my project is and my channels. That's been said, let's talk about news now. And first of all, I will share with you breaking news for this moment, which is about yet another attempt from Kiev regime to strike Moscow, capital of Russian Federation, with long-range drones. According to information that we are receiving this morning, in early hours of day, Ukrainian side launched at least 2 drones in the direction of Russian capital, and both drones were shot down by Russian air defense systems. This was reported by Mayor of Moscow, Sergei Sobyanin. And for now, at least, there is no reports about casualties on the ground or any significant damage. And also 11 drones were neutralized in the direction of Crimea, to be more precise, in the direction of Sevastopol city, which is main naval base for Russian Black Sea Fleet. And according to reports that we are receiving, 2 drones were destroyed. 2 Ukrainian drones were destroyed when they were approaching Sevastopol, and 9 other drones were suppressed by radio-electronic warfare systems. Yet again, no reports about casualties on the ground or any significant damage. That's official information that we are receiving for this moment. Now let's talk about this news. RIA Novosti is reporting based on statements from Andrei Marochko, military expert from LPR, and according to this news, Russian forces did manage to significantly improve their positions in the direction of Kupiansk, and according to Marochko, Russian forces are moving forward towards Sinkovka, or achieving significant success in areas of Sinkovka, Olshany, and Novoselovskaya, which is all are Kupiansk direction, as I understand. And by the way, yesterday military summary channel also did report that Russian forces did even enter Sinkovka, which is not far away from Kupiansk, by the way. So this is Kupiansk here, and this is Sinkovka. And I was waiting, this small settlement here, and I was waiting for official confirmation of this information. And this morning we did receive such a confirmation, at least partial one, from RIA Novosti, that Russian forces at least are managing to improve their positions in the direction of this settlement, and in general in the direction of Kupiansk region, which is not surprising Not surprising, of course, because as I reported many times before, initiative in the northern sectors of the front is totally in Russian hands, and the Ukrainian side, despite many attempts to regain initiative, at least on some directions in northern sectors, Ukrainian forces are unable to do so. And as I said many times before, I believe Russian forces are ready in this area to conduct large-scale offensive operations whenever they will receive green light from General Staff of Russian Defense Ministry. And now, by the way, let me give you a quick summary of the situation on the front line. I will start from southern sectors and then northern ones. So Kherson region, it's the usual stuff, artillery duels between the sides, recon operations, a constant fight for control over the small islands in the Dnieper and the river and the delta of this river. Situation is not quite resolved when it comes to this settlement, Kazachi Lager. As you know, during the previous 24 to 48 hours, there were some reports that Ukrainian side did manage to conduct successful landing operation in this area. At some point, we even had reports that Ukrainian forces established some sort of control, at least partial control over this settlement, but later on, Russian side did conducted the counteroffensive and push Ukrainian forces out of this settlement. I guess right now, Ukrainian units that did manage to cross Dnieper river in this area are pushed right next to bank of this river, and I guess during the day Russian artillery and aviation will try its best to neutralize this amphibious force of Ukrainian army. Of course, during the day we will probably receive some additional news, and I will report about it on my Telegram and in my second update. Now let's go to Zaporozhye and South Donetsk sectors of the front line. Main hot points are not really changed. It's Rabotina settlement, and on the southern side of Orekhov. But as I understand, the initiative here is also in Russian hands for this moment, because despite many attempts and frontal assaults from Ukrainian forces in this direction, and dozens of attempts to establish control over Rabotina, all Ukrainian forces were unsuccessful. They had heavy casualties, and I don't see any chance on Ukrainian side to conduct successful offensives in this area without heavy reinforcements. And when it comes to second hot point, which is on South Donetsk direction, on this Vremovsky ledge, so-called Vremovsky ledge, it's two main hot points here: Staromayorskaya, this settlement, and Urozhaina. Staromayorskaya is on the formal control of Ukrainian side, even though this settlement is a gray zone, in gray zone, and Urozhaina under full Russian control for this moment. There are some reports that Ukrainian forces are receiving additional reinforcements and are conducting offensive operations to establish control over the Urozhaina. And as I reported yesterday, if this settlement will become undefendable or require heavy losses on Russian side to maintain control over the settlement, I believe Russian forces will make decision to withdraw and retake control over the settlement when time is right. That's a Russian tactic of mobile warfare, so no one probably will be surprised if Russian side will make such a decision. I will remind you that Bremovsky ledge, not even close to first line of defense of Russian forces. It's a 3 months, third month now since the beginning of Ukrainian the so-called counteroffensive, and the Ukrainian forces did not even manage to reach first line of defense. When it comes to Donetsk direction, it's traditional hot points: Marinka, which is here, by the way, Marinka, Krasnogorovka, and Avdiivka. During the previous previous 24 hours, there were some reports that Russian side was significantly active in these directions. There were some heavy shellings of Ukrainian positions in direction of Marinka and Krasnogorovka, but yet again we are talking about local scale clashes, fierce clashes, but still it's a local scale that will not really influence overall situation on this sector of the front, at least for now. And same goes for Avdiivka direction. There are some local level skirmishes, artillery duels between the sides, but overall situation is operational pause. That's what I will call it. When it comes to Bakhmut direction, on the northern sector of Bakhmut, Ukrainian side, completely lost initiative. But when it comes to southern sector, Ukrainian forces still are trying to conduct some local scale offensive operations in direction of Klishchevka, in direction of Andreevka, but well, according to latest news that we are receiving, Klishchevka is under full Russian control, Andreevka is under full Russian control, and basically Ukrainian side, I guess, already has run out of steam, and without additional reinforcements will probably won't be able to continue its local scale offensives. And when it comes to northern sectors from Seversk and Liman to Kupiansk, initiative is totally in Russian hands, as I said in the beginning of this update, and we are on daily basis receiving informations about local scale successful offensives of Russian side on northern sectors, especially in Kupiansk direction. And well, today we did see at least partial confirmation that Russian forces did manage to establish control over this settlement, or at least improve its positions over the in area of Sinkovka, this settlement on the northern eastern side of Kupiansk. And by the way, previously probably you remember that we had some reports that this forestry here was under full Russian control, and if that's the true, then if you take a look at the distance between this forestry and Kupiansk, it's only about a couple of kilometers, really. And if Sinkovka is under partial or full Russian control, I guess Russian side truly are in position now to conduct offensive operation in direction of Kupiansk. It all depends on when the Defense Ministry of Russian Federation will give a green light to Russian forces in this area to conduct large-scale offensive. As you know, I was predicting that we will see Russian offensive, large-scale offensive before end of this summer. And even though lately I had some doubts about it because time is running fast, there is some slight chance, I guess, that we'll still be able to see Russian large-scale offensive in the northern sectors of the front before end of this summer. And this is quick summary. This is quick summary for this moment about situation on the front line. By the way, I did report on my Telegram page that during the previous night, according to several sources, Russian armed forces carried out attacks on logistical and military infrastructure of Zelensky's regime in Kyiv region, Kirovograd region, Khmelnytsky region. There were reports about some strikes in Sumy region, and few more during the day. Russian Defense Ministry will probably share additional information with the public about strikes previous night, and of course I will share this additional news on my Telegram and in the second update. Now let's go and talk about some other news, and I will end this video. So it's gonna be a short one, I guess. So RIA Novosti is reporting, and by the way, I did share this news in my second update, in my yesterday's second update. If you have time, please check that update. You may find it interesting. So RIA Novosti is reporting that Russian Defense Minister Shoigu did made statements yesterday, significant, important statements, and I will articulate one of the statements that Shoigu made about Poland, and he said that Warsaw has some plans to establish control over the western or some parts of western Ukraine, and to achieve this, Poland is not just increasing its military capacities and manpower, but also Poland is planning to create some combined units with Ukrainian armed forces, and under a pretext of combined operation, Warsaw will try to establish control over the western regions of this failed state. Well, I guess this is first time when Shoigu openly said that Warsaw or Polish elites have plans to establish control one way or another over the western regions of Ukraine, and I guess he had good enough intelligence to say so. For me personally, I was saying for a long time that Poland will use opportunity and try to establish control over the western regions of Ukraine, also Romania, Hungary, and Slovakia. But that was my prediction was based on analytics of information that we are receiving from open sources. But Shoigu most definitely has classified information on his hands and knows much more and much better than ordinary citizens when it comes to plans of Warsaw. So I guess this is important development, and as I said, it's a first instance when Russian defense minister officially stated, and high-ranking Russian official officially stated, that Poland has plans to occupy western regions of Ukraine. Medvedev has made some former Russian president and current deputy chairman of Security Council had made some statements about western regions of Ukraine and possibility that Poland will try to establish control over those regions. But Shoigu was very direct. He was making no predictions. He was saying that it's a real plans that Poland has. This is not a prediction. This is just sharing with public actual factual information that Russian Defense Ministry has. But anyway, let me continue. TASS news agency is reporting that Zelensky's regime did begin evacuation from Kupiansk. Yesterday I did share on my Telegram page these leaflets that were spread in Kupiansk area by Ukrainian side about evacuation, and this information is only confirming what I just said a few minutes ago, that initiative in the northern sectors of the Frontline is totally in Russian hands, and in fairly short amount of time we may see large-scale Russian offensive in the northern sectors, including in Kupiansk direction. So no surprises that Zelensky's regime is evacuating from Kupiansk settlers, and I guess governmental institutions also have been evacuated from Kupiansk with their archives and so on. And few more news. RT is reporting that Germany did buy 49 Leopard 1 tanks from Belgium. This is quite old tanks, significantly less than Leopard 2s, of course. It's the same generation that Russian T-55 or T-62 tanks. And if Leopard 2 tanks are unable to play any significant role on the battlefield, you tell me what Leopard 1's gonna do. Just nothing really. Even though for its time, some 50-60 years ago, Leopard 1 was quite capable main battle tank, but yet again this information highlights level of degradation of current leadership of Germany that are fully involved in this war against Russia. And by the way, TASS news agency is reporting that a candidate in president of Ecuador was one of the candidates for a presidency of Ecuador was assassinated. And I did share on my Telegram page video footage of that attack, which is here, by the way. And as you can see, when this candidate was leaving area where he was campaigning, some shots were fired, and as a result he was killed. His name is Fernando Villavicencio, and well, unfortunate development for Ecuador. This type of terrorist attacks, of course, can destabilize any country, especially one that are experiencing some difficulties already. And the current president of Ecuador did make statement that it's matter of principle. It's matter of principle to make sure that all the attackers will be fined and prosecuted. And by the way, a few more topics about some economical stuff. TASS news agency is reporting, and I did report about it in my yesterday's second update also, that Russian central bank did make the decision to stop buying foreign currencies until end of this year. I guess this step was made from central bank in attempt to ease pressure on Russian ruble, and it's necessary, by the way, because yesterday at some point during the trades on Moscow trade exchange or Moscow exchange, exchange rate for a ruble and dollar was 98 ruble for $1, which was highest level since the March of 2022. Later on, ruble regained some strength. And right now, if we check on TASS news agency, for example, $1 is 97.40 rubles. 1 euro is 106.89 rubles. So, well, ruble is experiencing some significant difficulties lately, and I think in fairly short amount of time, one more, my prediction will become reality. Veterans of our community probably remember that for many months I was saying that before end of this year, Russian ruble probably will hit 100 mark, 100 ruble for $1 or even more, and well, we almost there. Unfortunately, this failure, this weakening of ruble will have a significant influence, I'm afraid, on inflation. And well, it's bad news. It's bad news for us, for ordinary citizens. But well, let's see with what steps, what other steps central bank and finance ministry will come up to stabilize Russian currency, and to make sure that inflation would not reach a double-digit mark. And this is it. This is it for now. Quite short update. I hope you will find this video interesting, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary about any topic, not necessarily about news or political stuff, just about anything, because as I said, numbers do influence YouTube's algorithm, as I understand, and more likes and comments probably create a little bit better chances for me to reach wider audience. And for very same reason, if you can, please share links to my videos or my channel with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, or any other platform that you are active on. And if you think this channel is interesting, or this project is interesting, informative, useful, and deserves to exist in this field of news and political commentary, please consider to support with small donations through PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or by subscribing to my Patreon page. You will see links under this video in the description box or in the pinned comment. This is it for now. Have a great day and take care.